But hey, oh, sorry, dance break. Hold on. Is this on? All right. Sorry about that. We are here today to talk about this little guy. It is called a line tracker, which you can see kind of fuzzy here. It's a line tracker. It's actually just a light sensor. And it's one of our robot C sensors here that we can program so that when we put our hand over something, it could activate a motor or turn off a motor, wherever we want it to do. Okay, so this is an analog sensor. Analogs have a wide range of values that they measure. They're not just on or off. So on your Cortex, you are going to see there is a word over here that says analog. And we want to plug this line tracker right by analog number 1, very first setting up there. Okay, notice we still have an LED and we still have the motor plugged in as well. All right, so let's see what we can do in Robot C to make this thing work. All right, I am going to open up a new file. I know that I have to check my settings. So I'm going to go up to Robot. Make sure my platform type says VEX 2.0 Cortex, and I'm good. Natural Language PLTW, there's a check mark, I'm good. So I go back up to the communication mode. I check that it says USB only, I'm good. And I go to View, all the way down to Preferences. And I make sure there's no check mark by the auto file save. Once all those things are done, I am ready to program. The first thing I want to do is tell the computer what I have plugged in. So if you remember, that is motor and sensor setup. Motor is plugged into port 2. And for continuity, just to kind of keep things the same, I did call this the write motor. So I'm going to type in write motor. And then here the type VEX 393 motor. Okay, apply. Then we're going to use this tab that says analog sensors. So we haven't been here before. We plug this into just number 1. So I'm going to call it line tracker. And then in the drop-down menu, I'm going to tell it what I got plugged in. You could use light sensor, but the best one for this type of light sensor is actually called the line follower. So please use the drop-down selection of line follower. Okay. All right. Apply. And then we're going to click OK. We are ready to program. Here's what I want to have happen. I want it so that when I put my finger over this, the motor starts. And when I move my finger away, the motor will shut down. Okay, that's my goal. So my first command has to use that line tracker, and it's going to be under natural language. So click the plus sign by natural language, go down to until, and now there are 2 commands we use, until dark and until light. Okay, it seems kind of backwards when I program this. I always kind of remember in reverse. If I want to cover it up, I'm going to do until light. And when I want to uncover it later on, I'm going to use until dark. Okay. The line tracker itself, if you hold this over, it quickly tells you that the range goes from light, which is 0, to 4095, which is dark. So if I cover it up, it's going to bring that number down closer to 0, which is closer to what it considers light. Okay. Kind of backwards, just remember when you cover it up, use until light. Okay. Threshold then is going to be a number between 0 and 4095. I usually try to pick something in the middle, like 1500 or 2000. And I'm going to start with 1500. And that means it's going to read the light in the room, get a value somewhere probably around 3000. And when I cover it up, that number of 3000 is going to get less and less and less. Okay. Sensor port, where did I plug it in? If you don't remember, I can go up here. I can type in either line tracker or shorthand. Nice little abbreviation is IN1. And I like that. I'm going to do IN1. Okay. And then the until dark, I could put 1500. I'm going to go a little bit higher just for something different. And I'm going to say 2000. Sensor port IN1. Okay. So until light, cover it up. Until dark, release it. Now what do I want to have happen? I want some movement to occur. So I'm going to click the plus sign by movement. It's going to start with a start motor. And it's going to end with a stop motor. Okay. So you're noticing I don't have to put them in my program in the order from 7, 8, 9, 10. They just have to end up in the right order. So which motor port? It's called write motor. I could either type that or I could go for the abbreviation, which is port 2. And I'm going to do that, PORT2. Speed, anywhere between negative 127 to a positive 127, depending on the direction it spins. I'm going to choose a negative number this time. I'm going to go negative 99. And then stop motor, you'll notice there's no speed. It automatically goes to 0, but I'm going to put in port 2. Okay. Let's see if my program looks right. So I click compile. There's no errors in this little frame at the bottom. So I'm thinking things are good. It is orange cord time. By now, I think you remember that we always plug it into the Cortex before we plug it into the computer. So I'm going to take my orange cord. We're plugging it into the Cortex. The other end goes into a USB port in my computer. Once that happens, I can turn on my Cortex. Okay. And let's see how things go. The lights are on. Looks like the batteries are good. So let's give it a shot. I'm going to download it and see what happens. There's our wheel. Okay. Okay. Download the robot. I'll drag this to the side a little bit. So now we can kind of see both of them. If I want to know what the line tracker is reading at a certain point in time, I can do that too. Before I click start, I can go up to this word robot, go to debugger window, and go to sensors. And then down here it shows me what my line tracker is reading. Earlier I guess it would be like 3,000 with just lights in the room. That's pretty close. So now watch what happens to this number down here as I cover up the line tracker. Okay, this is without it even running. So it goes down to about 1,100, and that's good. This helps me write my program. So up here you notice I said until like 1,500, and I'm guessing when I covered it up it would go to a number lower than 1,500, and I can actually test it. And look, it does, so my program should work. Okay? Alright, again, how do I find this? I go to the word robot at the top, debugger window. Sounds like you're swearing at somebody in England. A little debugger window. And then go down to sensors. Okay? Alright, let's see if this program works. Green line's up there. It's waiting for the until light command to be met. I cover it up. Hey, so far so good. I uncover it, and it stops. Hey, look at that. Again, start, cover it, let go, and it's off. And there you go. You have just coded a line tracker. This might be a helpful program later, so I would save this, file save as line tracker, and then if you ever need it, it is there for you. All right, happy coding, good luck.